Alright, so we're going to get started on the clean cut theme. First thing we're going to do is start with the HTML. We're going to create the bootstrap HTML and CSS, and then we'll move on to converting it into a WordPress theme. So I'm at getbootstrap.com. I'm just going to go ahead and download Bootstrap. And we'll open that zip file up. And I have a blank folder on my desktop called Clean Cut HTML. That's where we'll be creating the HTML site. So what we're going to want to do is create a folder called CSS. We'll also create a folder called JS. And while we're at it, let's create the images folder. Okay, so what we're going to do is get the bootstrap.css, bring that over to our CSS file. Same thing with the bootstrap JavaScript file. Alright, and then we're going to create an index HTML page. Okay, we'll go ahead and open that up. And let's also create our style sheet. So we'll call this style.css, and we'll open that up as well. Alright, so let's get some base HTML tags in here. Title, I'm just going to say clean cut theme. We're going to want to bring in the bootstrap CSS as well as our custom CSS file. Okay, I'll just copy that. And actually, while we're at it, we might as well grab animate.css, which we're going to use for our animations. Okay, so let's see, download, and let's save that file. And then we're just going to cut that. And then we'll bring it to our theme or our template folder, which is right here. Okay, so that'll go in our CSS folder as well. Alright, now for the images, you should have an images folder in your project files. So we have the showcase image, the default banner image, and then these three smartphone images. So we're going to grab all of those and we're going to bring them to the IMG folder. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that later on. Alright, so back to the HTML. We're also going to want to include the animate CSS file. Next thing we're going to want is a nav bar, so I'm going to go to Get Bootstrap, and let's go to Getting Started, and then Examples, and right here, Starter Template. I'm just going to look at the source code, and I'm going to grab that nav bar. Okay, a couple things. I want to change navbar inverse to navbar default. That's going to make it white or light gray. I'm going to keep the navbar fixed top because I want it to always be displayed. Project name, we can change that to clean cut theme. And the links, I want these to be on the right side, so I'm going to add a class right here called navbar right. Alright, we'll have the home. We'll have about, blog, and some of the stuff might be changed when we actually create the theme, but I think that's good for now. So let's take a look. Oops. Okay, so we'll open that up with Chrome. Looks like it's not seeing the CSS. Oh, let's put a dot right here, dot slash. Oops. Alright, so there's our nav bar. That looks pretty good. Now we're going to work on the showcase. So right under the nav, we're going to create a section, and we're going to give this a class of row and also showcase. Okay, now inside here we're going to have a container. Okay, in the container we're going to have a 12-column div. Okay, then we're going to have a div with the class of showcase content. And we'll have an H1. We'll have a paragraph with the class of lead. And in here we'll just say custom WordPress theme by you. Alright, and then we're going to have our 3 buttons. I'm going to paste those in. They're not actually buttons, they're just links that have the button classes. Alright, so let's indent this, make it look a little nicer. Okay, so if we take a look at that, nothing special yet, and you can see it's tucked underneath the nav bar. We'll fix that. Actually, we'll fix that right now. In the style sheet, let's say body, and we just want to say padding top 50 pixels. Okay, and the reason it did that is because we have this set to the nav bar set to fixed, so it's always going to be over the content. Okay, next we're going to have one of the sections. So if we look at the actual theme, let me pull that up real quick. Okay, so we have these blog posts, and what we're going to do is we're going to have this be section A with the gray background. This will be section B, and then it'll just switch, okay, every other section. So let's go ahead, and I'm actually going to just paste this in. Okay, so this is section A. Basically we have a container with a row, and then we have a 5-column div, or 6 when it's a small, when the browser is small, and then we have the 5-column over here which has the image. This one just has the H2 and a paragraph. Okay, so pretty simple. And then I'll paste in the next one, which will have a class of section B. Okay, same thing, it's just the orientation's a little different. And then we'll have one more. This also has section A, and just has a different text, and the image is different. Okay, so we're using the pick1, pick2, and pick3.jpg files, which you should have in your project files. So if we look at it now, okay, it should look something like this. So next is the bottom banner, and I'm going to paste that in. Alright, now I'm not typing it all out just to save some time. It's nothing really that you guys don't know, so I'm just doing some pasting in. So we have a section with the class of banner. It has a container. We have one row here with a 6-column div with some text. We have another 6-column div which has a UL, which has the buttons, the social media links. Alright, so if we save that, should look something like that. Alright, now obviously this doesn't look very good. We'll have to style it afterwards. I just want to get the initial HTML. So the last part we're going to need here is the footer. Okay, so we'll paste that in. So we're using a footer tag, container. We have a 12-column div here with a UL that has a class of list inline, and we just have a paragraph with some copyright stuff. Okay, so we'll save that, reload, and now the HTML for the index page is complete. So we can now create the about page, which will represent the inner pages. Alright, so let's open that up. Oops. Okay, and I'm just going to copy what we have in index. Alright, and then we're just going to get rid of some stuff. Okay, we don't want the showcase. We don't want, actually, we don't, you know what, all we want here is from the nav bar up and then the footer. So we can get rid of everything in between. Okay. Now we're going to want a title bar, which is going to have the name of the page. Also, if there's child pages, it'll have a menu with those. So we're going to paste this in. Section, give it a class of row, and title bar. It has a 6-column div with the title, and then another 6-column with whatever that sub-nav menu. Alright, so let's save that, go to About, and it should look something like that. So next we're going to have the main content and the sidebar. So we're going to paste this in. It's a section, class of row and page. We have an 8-column div, that's where the main content goes, and then a 4-column div with the sidebar. I'm also using a well class, which is a bootstrap class. So if we save that, okay, now you can see we have the main content and the sidebar. Now we're also going to have that big area down here with the icons, and that'll be a widget. So we're going to go ahead and paste that in as well. And this is actually a lot of HTML, so if you want to pause the video and kind of copy it, we have a div with the class. We're using section A to give us that gray background. The animation classes I'm not going to put in yet. We're going to do that after. We have a row with 3, let's see, no, we have 6 4-column divs. Each one has a div with box content, left aligned, left box icon. So there's quite a bit of styling here. So you just want to get that copied. We have a title, we have a paragraph, and of course we have the icon. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. Okay, 6 4-column divs. So let's save that, take a look. Okay, so we're not seeing the icons yet because we haven't implemented Font Awesome, which we can do now. Yeah, let's do that now. Okay, so we want to click download. And you could use the CDN if you want, but I'm just going to get the file. So we want the CSS and we want that file there. So let's bring that over. Okay, and then let's also bring over the fonts folder. Okay, and then we'll go back and we just want to include the CSS file. Okay, save that, reload, and now we have our icons. Now obviously they're too small and the styling isn't correct, but we're going to get to that after. So now we have the blog page. So let's go ahead and create that. So this will be blog.html. Okay, we'll open that up. And we're going to copy what we have in index. Okay, we're going to change a few things. We don't want the showcase. So we're going to get rid of that whole section. Okay, we will need a title bar. So let's get that from the About page. Okay, we'll just change this to blog. And then we have our section A's and B's, so that should be good. Let's save that, and that's what the blog page will look like for now. Oh, actually, you know what? We want to put the meta info in and the read more. So on blog HTML, let's go. We might as well. No, we'll leave the H2 alone. We'll just have the read more. So let's put that down. Let's see, we want that on this side. So right under the paragraph. Some bootstrap classes. Okay, and that'll just say read more, and we're going to copy that, put that on each of these sections right under the paragraph. Okay, we're also going to need the meta info, so that's going to go under the H2, and I'll just paste that in. Okay, just a div with the class of meta. Alright, so that should be good for the blog page. And then for single, that'll be the last page we'll create here. Oops, we want HTML. Okay, let's open that up. And I'm going to copy what we have in the About page. Paste that in. Okay, we don't want the bottom area here with the icons. So I'm going to get rid of that whole section. Okay, we do want the sidebar. And let's see, let's change this to post title. And then we'll have the post content here. We're going to want the metadata to go right above the content. Okay. And this will also have an image. So let's put the image right above the meta. So we'll say image source, let's see, img slash pic1.jpg. Alright. Let's actually wrap that in a div with the class of post thumbnail. Alright. So if we click on read more, it takes us to the single page, which doesn't look very good right now, but we'll style that in the next video. Alright, let's see. Let's change the active class in the menu. You can see we're on the About page, but the home is still highlighted. So we'll go to About, we'll go to the menu, and let's take this class active and put it here. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the blog HTML page. Alright, so in the next video we're going to do two things. We're going to style it. We're also going to add the animation classes so that we can use animate.css. Alright, so I'll see you in the next video.